Good evening, friends. Jason here for AxodysFC. It's the end of the day, Sunday, or getting towards sunset, something like that. Finally got to see the replay this morning, bright and early. Enjoyed that quite a bit, and so just listened to a few podcasts, did some work around the house, worked on our yard. We've got a mole invasion. Anyway. So, the Spurs game. I liked what Richarlison did on the left wing. It was nice to see him playing there and actually setting up those cross, on the ground, not aerial crosses, but those nice cutback kind of crosses. He had a couple good moments before the one that Son put away ultimately. And as I recall, when last year when he got his a couple, he didn't start necessarily, but when he came into the game, he had at least a couple good games where he played on the left wing, and I remember one where he chased it down and then he crossed it back to Harry Kane, and anyway, so that's a good spot for him, I think, and I think he can contribute a lot. And then, being able to move over if Solomon comes in, or because the reality is, I know people hate to see Son go out, but he's going to break down if he's working way harder when he plays the 9 spot. And he's going to have to rotate out, and we are going to have a rotation that, we are going to have somebody that can move into the middle and him move, back to the wing or something like that. But yeah, it's the reality is though it's not good when we play him 90 minutes all the time, and especially once we're in Europe again next season potentially. We're gonna have to have more of a rotation. And actually, one thing that I haven't liked is seeing a lot of the post match commentary have been, people are, yes, we need to bolster our squad, but people are multiple people were doing the thing where they slag on our bench and specific players, and they're not good enough. And it's some of those players came in and were directly responsible for that game winner yesterday. And ultimately maybe they will be replaced in the squad. But the aspect of Spurs fans, or the segment of Spurs fans that just want to discard players before we even have replacements for them that they've had a chance to compete with. It doesn't work. It's not helpful. It's not good for the team's morale for those players to be seeing that on social media, etc. It's just, you got to be patient. It's an area that needs improvement. We all know that. Don't tear down the players on our squad that are squad players or not starters for us. And the other issue too, getting better players to actually want to come and be on the bench here, or there's a whole aspect to it that is not necessarily going to happen. So it's way more complicated, and it's just not helpful though, the way we slag on some of our non-starters. So hopefully that won't continue to be a trend that I have to observe. But anyway, overall, super enjoyable game, and it was good fun to watch it, even though I knew how it was going to go. And so craziness. The one bad thing too that about Basuma picking up his, or maybe actually it's a silver lining because, so I guess, yeah, he's on 4 yellows now, so he'll have to sit out the next game. Well, Luton is probably the best best possible team to be going into without Basuma. And actually, I'll be curious to see who we rotate in. Højbjerg, I guess, maybe. Yeah, definitely some rotation questions for when we don't have Basuma available. And yeah, overall. Oh, and actually, getting back to the game, Vicario. He had some great point-blank saves, and actually, yeah, the keeper play on both sides was really good. Allison, excellent work, and it's funny too because in some ways he's not always a good, even though he's like the best keeper in the Premier League probably, he's not necessarily always the best keeper to have from a fantasy perspective because he doesn't always get tested because Liverpool dominates the game or whatever. But I believe he had a pretty good score yesterday because of the scenario. So kind of funny. But yeah, and then the one other thing about it was so weird to see him with like a short haircut again. I'm so used to him having, you know, kind of wavy, out of control hair a little bit. So it was funny to see him with a recent haircut. But yeah, anyway, good play from both keepers. And let's see, I think yeah, the only other thing to talk about really was Porro, and he was outstanding and great defensively again, and you know, of course, with the key cross at the end. Really exciting to see his development so far this season. I definitely doubted him coming in based on what we'd seen, but clearly coaching staff's doing a great job of developing our young players, our inexperienced defenders, and I mean, between him and Udagi, amazing. Then the question is, yeah, what happens? But you know, once we hit injuries, I mean, at least I feel comfortable with on the right with Emerson, and I think actually, if we do, once we get in another central defender, there will always be the possibility too of Van der Ven playing some left back. So anyway, better options ahead, but it'll be interesting to see how we do finishing out this this season until the January window. So anyway, good to catch up on that game, and as usual, thanks for tuning in. If you enjoy these, please like and subscribe, and remember, to dare is to do.